Hey guys, welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine, and today we will be previewing the third and final T20I between South Africa and India, which takes place tomorrow, Thursday, at the Wanderers Stadium. And we're sitting here with a situation with the Proteas 1-0 up after the first game was obviously rained out in Kingsmead. And we're going to try and understand from this particular episode, by the end of this episode, I would like us to be able to identify where we are sitting with what we will be happy with as an outcome after this particular game. Are we looking to win the series and go 2-0 and win beat India? Will we be okay with us risking a couple of experiments and giving some guys a go? And if they fail, um, will we be okay with that? If they succeed, where will we be sitting with regards to their addition into the full-time squad for that World Cup? Because where I'm sitting at the moment, South Africa's T20 and white ball teams basically are quite settled with maybe one or two players to be added into the setup for me personally, if I look at it. So that's what we're going to be discussing on today's show. We are going to kickstart it with a post match press conference of Riza Hendricks and Shamsi. We're going to try and listen to what they had to say. They were the two best players of the match, you could say, other than Gerald Kutsia. They were the other two great players in the match against India that I would really put my hand up and say, okay, cool, well done. They they performed admirably. So that's what we're going to be discussing on today's show, going into this particular match. We're also going to talk about who we'd like to see in this particular game. There are two players obviously missing from this particular game. That was communicated with us from the beginning. So I will bring up the squad again for you guys to look at, and then we can discuss which players you'd like to see come into the 11 for tomorrow's game. But before we get going, before we get started, there's a couple of things that I'd like you guys to please do. First and foremost, subscribe to the channel, click that notification bell for all future videos, please. It's very important that you do so. We are on the road to 5,000 subscribers. We are not far away. We only need about 600 and odd to get there. So please go ahead and share this with all your friends and family. Share this with everybody around, so that they can also follow us if they are South African cricket fans. I'd also like to just punt something that we've started recently that I think is very important for our viewers and people that are friends of the channel, etc. Cricket Fanatics magazine has just launched its business corner. Market your business products and services effectively and affordably to cricket audience. We've set up the business corner to help you market your business, your products, and your services effectively and affordably to a cricket audience. And this is our landing page, that and why we started it is obviously to try and help smaller to medium enterprises reach a cricket audience effectively and affordably, and help them grow long term happy customers. So go ahead to our landing page and go and read it. We give you some great strategy that you can apply straight away into your business. And then you can click on this button to get more details, to book a call, to have the discussion with us. So please go ahead and do so right away. The link is in the description for you guys if you want to go and check that out. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. I am looking forward to discussing this with you guys and seeing what you guys have to say about the third T20I between South Africa and India. A very good evening and welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. This is your preview show. I'm your host, Khalid Mohidin, and this is the show where we talk everything that has to do with the 30-20 between South Africa and India. We know South Africa claimed the second T20I by 5 wickets. It was an exciting match, I would say. I think I like the approach of the batters in the match. I think there's still a lot of improvement with regards to the bowlers. So we're going into this particular match um, with fire in our bellies, you would say, and our tails up, having played quite decently and quite effectively and positively against a very good, in my opinion, Indian bowling attack. But before we get started with that particular game, with the next game, let's first and foremost let's listen to what Riza Hendricks and Shamsi had to say after the victory, and then we can start chatting about what we expect from the 30-20I. So let's go ahead and listen to that together and try to get an understanding of what those two players had to say after the game between the two teams.
Well, just on the T20 World Cup, there's just a few games left. How do you guys just build up to that? Like, what are the conversations that you guys are having behind the scenes to just make sure that you guys, when you get to West Indies and the US, you are where you want to be?
So at the moment, nobody knows who's going to the World Cup. And like I said, the way that this new Proteas team is approaching things, we don't look too far ahead. That's the way we did our business in the ODI World Cup that's just finished. It wasn't even looking as far as the next match that we're going to play. It's about the next day's training session and what do players need to do individually to achieve whatever they want to achieve at that training session. So yes, the World Cup is a thing, and our goal does not change. We're going there to try and win that World Cup. But you know, at the moment, our focus is on the Wanderers. We have an opportunity to win the series, which we would dearly love to do. That obviously gives confidence. And then, there's the SA20. And then we let the coaches do whatever they need to do and decide a squad. We just got to focus on our job.
Just to follow on from that, how important does competitions like the SA20, the domestic T20 competitions, as well as the IPL and others, how important do these tournaments become? Because obviously we don't have, as a team, we don't have much international cricket. It's this series, and then I think West Indies before the World Cup, just to keep the message the same.
I think the SA20 is brilliant for our country, giving the exposure to players that, maybe just below the international level and guys that are, close to playing for the Proteas, because you're playing with and against the best South African players as well as, the best overseas players. And, over the years, we've seen what the IPL has done for the Indian players and Indian youngsters in particular. When they come to the international scene, they've already played in front of huge crowds. They've had their disappointments against, having bad games in front of huge crowds. So they've learned how to deal with that. They've had success in front of good crowds. So they know how to deal with the good days as well. So when they come to international cricket, it's just business as usual. And, we've just had one season of SA20. We may not see it now, in the near future, but in the years to come, we will see how much more prepared our new generation and even, the guys that are in the system will be when they do play for the Proteas. That it won't be a thing that they're playing international cricket. They're just going to let their natural talent go on. So, yeah, to answer your question, the SA20 is obviously huge in terms of preparations for the World Cup. Different conditions, yes, but it's T20 cricket, as much cricket as you can play, not only to have good games. I'm a big believer, when you do have bad games as well, you learn a lot and you improve your game a lot. You just got to be playing. So then it gives you another 10 fixtures to play high quality cricket. So I think that's brilliant.
Yeah, so I agree with Shama over there that the SA20 will be important. At least we know that the message has passed on from Rob to the players. They feel exactly the same way, and they have been communicated with regards to that. We would expect that, of course. That would be an obvious thing for anybody to try and understand. And we know that the SA20 is going to be looked at. Look, the SA20 has been there's been a very high standard of cricket, in my opinion. We have a lot of international stars that play that games, and you'll have a lot of youngsters that get exposed to that. Now, players need to understand that they could be knocking on the door for that T20 squad. But let's be realistic about things, because when you look at our T20 squad and our T20 11s, etc., there aren't many players that haven't performed with regards to their positions. There aren't many places up for grabs. I do think, however, that there are certain players that need to keep their momentum going and keep performing for them to keep their spots. Ideally, I would say Riza Hendricks' opening partner, whoever that would be, whether it be Matthew Brzezinski or whether it can be someone else, it's still a potential opening position. I think that number 3 position, if Riley Rousseau is going to be playing, whether it will be his spot or someone else will take that. So that also means that it will then decide our top 6. I do think that our 7 position and our 6 position could still be up for grabs, dependable on the number 3 position. If Aiden Markram comes in at 3, and we have another opener, a new opener that comes into the team, your top 3 is sorted out. Klaassen moves to 4 and Miller moves to 5. So then you do have an option of a number 6 to come in. Tristan Stubbs batted in that position yesterday, and he took us over the line. He batted okay in the time that we saw. Now, that is something that we're going to need to decide, because number 3 could possibly be open for someone like Tristan Stubbs. If Riley Rousseau isn't available or doesn't make himself available, then I think that Tristan Stubbs could bat higher up the order at 4, and Aiden Markram could take that number 3 position. That could be a possibility. I'm not saying that is the 100% what it should be, but I think that could be a possibility. But let's listen on and see what else the players have to say.
Great. We're going to take 3 online, and then we will move on to Riza Hendricks. So Nathan and Johnny, and then we'll wrap with Fidoz.
Thank you very much, Lucy. Good evening, Shamo. Just a 2-pronged question. Can you just speak about the impact of Aiden marshalling the guys today? And in your post-match interview with Kaz Naidu, you spoke about Coach Rob. What do you enjoy about him, and what values or system are you guys trying to create in the Proteas setup? As you mentioned, a happy camp, as we said.
Evening. Yeah, Aiden's been brilliant. He basically, I can only speak from a bowler's point of view, but on the field, he's quite calm. He lets the bowlers, decide what they want to do. Obviously, we sit together before the game and come up with game plans that we want to execute, but he gives you a lot of responsibility as a bowler, because at the end of the day, you're the one that's, releasing the ball. So he makes you comfortable in that sense. And as for Rob as well, like I mentioned, when he's come in, he's made the environment a lot more relaxed. He's made the guys, just be themselves. We're human beings. So he's let us have bad days. He's allowed our families in big time, in the sense like, because a lot of the guys, their husbands, their fathers. So just that stuff, that happiness that the guys have in general, makes us play better. He's very hard on us. He's not a soft guy. When it comes to training and those kind of things, he pushes our boundaries. Even when we have good days, he'll always challenge us to, find what we could have still done better. And I've personally enjoyed that a lot. Yeah, I think that's why you're seeing the guys progress a lot. It's not always intense, but there's always those questions asked as to, what we can do to improve even more.
Great. And Johnny, and then Fidoz.
That's good.
Okay, we can't hear Johnny, so we'll skip to Fidoz.
Hi, Lucy. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear.
Thanks. Cool. Hi, Shamo. Well tonight. Shamo, I'm just interested to hear your opinion on this debate, that we're constantly talking about now that the World Cup cycle's over, and there seems to be a shift maybe away from international bilateral cricket, and there's a lot more emphasis put on leagues. And you just spoke about the SA20, but just how do you see the landscape, having been around for a while? You've played in a lot of these leagues, that kind of thing.
Hi, Fidoz. Yeah, I think personally, from
Wow.
as well. Masalan. Yeah. Yeah, from my own personal experiences as well, I think playing in different leagues has certainly helped my growth as a bowler, and as a player, just reading the game, learning about the game as well. And, obviously when the leagues first started, they were always seen in a bad light, in the sense that, you know, it's just all about players wanting to earn money and stuff. But I can only speak from my own experiences,
Yeah.
you know, as a youngster, going to the Caribbean Premier League, even playing there before I made my debut for the Proteas in the West Indies. It just helped me feel so relaxed, because I'd been in those stadiums, I'd done well in those pitches. So when I eventually did play for South Africa, I sort of felt at home. And that's been the trend, you know, when you play in different leagues, SA20 as well. You get, you know, for me personally, guys like Josh Butler and the guys from England, Owen Morgan and stuff like that. You always pick up little bits of, you know, golden nuggets, that because we're so used to doing things a certain way in South Africa, as are those countries. So you pick up bits and pieces of what other people can do, or what other people do slightly different. You try that for yourself. Some of it works, some of it doesn't. But at the end of the day, you know, I feel you improve as a player. And the way things are going now, there's a lot more understanding in terms of, you know, players being able to play and that kind of stuff. So I think at the end of the day, it will be good for South African cricket, because, you know, guys go out there, get more experience, and it gives other people opportunity as well, and it widens our pool.
Okay, thanks for those. And
Yeah.
thank you to Brace for joining us.
That's
this
all
evening.
good and
We've,
everything, but when it comes to the SA20s and the leagues around the world, then the players need to at least play. We can't have a scenario like, for me personally, like saw Tristan Stubbs and we saw Dewald Brevis in the IPL not get many games, you know. So you have to play. Shamsi would have felt that way because he played quite a bit in the Caribbean. I would like to see our youngsters play more. Now in the SA20, they get that opportunity, and yes, the levels are quite high. And if they perform, that can give them a lot of confidence for international cricket. I do still believe, though, that international cricket is at a whole different level, though. I think that it is a notch above the SA20s and the IPLs, etc., in my opinion. I think that playing for your country brings a whole different pressure than to playing for a franchise that doesn't really necessarily mean anything to you personally, really, other than, you know, because we can see players move from franchises to franchises in the IPL quite often and quite quickly. It depends who picks them up. So there's no really affiliation or to the club, or incentive to the club or the franchise that's picking them up. Whereas for their country, you have an affiliation with them, you have a love for them, you have a connection to them, to the country. So I think that adds a whole different spin on everything.
We will have Reza Hendricks.
Thanks, guys.
Once again, to those online, if you could. Once again, to those online, if you could just indicate in the panel by raising your hand if you would like to ask a question. We will take a couple from the floor first. Cameras, good to go again? Thanks. Ngama, you're going to start us off there?
Hi, Reza. Congratulations on the victory. We've had a lot of conversations on the ODI side about the approach in terms of the batting. What's been the conversations when it comes to T20 cricket? Obviously, with the World Cup in mind, what are you guys trying to come up with?
I think the T20 game in a whole already says what we should be doing. Yeah, there's been a lot of chats on how to approach it, and basically T20 games allows you to play freely and express yourself, and I think that conversation is definitely driven by our coach Rob as well, and our batting coach JP. So yeah, with the shortened game as well, T20 is already alone, and in a shortened game you can just go out there and express yourself. So those conversations are definitely driven by our coaching staff, and just us as players to go out there and execute it.
Amir?
Yeah, we're seeing that.
Reza, congratulations on the win this evening. Unlucky to not get the half century. Just speak to us about the conditions in those first couple of overs and how you navigated that.
Yeah, the conditions were quite good actually. It definitely came on to the bat. Really good batting conditions. There was swing up front. But yeah, we managed to get off to a good start. Obviously, got some momentum in the first over already, so we could just run with that. And everybody that came in, they definitely stuck to the rate, and if not gone better, and came in and contributed. So yeah, the tone was set in the front, and we managed to maintain that. But yeah, all in all, the wicket was really good. As mentioned, there was a bit of swing up front, and then yeah, it was good to bat on.
Could you speak to us a little bit about your understanding of the role of an opening batsman, and how you go about navigating those first few overs until you get your stopping?
Yeah, I think it's important, a role in the team.
Very important.
We obviously, as openers, we have to go out there and assess what the conditions like and how it's playing, and then we can obviously set the tone from there. So yeah, that's basically the way we want to approach it, to see what's happening with the ball and what they're doing, and then try and make up our judgment from that and play accordingly. So I mean, it's really important even in a shortened game to set the tone and set the base for the middle order guys to come in and finish it. So that's generally our thought process and how we try and go about it.
The biggest positive that we take as a team from today's performance?
I think everyone really stood up, especially in the batting order. Everybody contributed. Yes, it was a shortened game, but everybody came out and played freely and executed their skill and contributed in somewhat way. So I think that's definitely a positive for us on the batting front. And the way Shamsi bowled today was outstanding on a really good wicket, and the way he bowled was really special. So. And yeah, unfortunately, obviously, there's guys that's going to be on the receiving end of it, and they'd go for runs. But fortunately, today was Shams' day, and as bad as we could come out and chase down the score. So yeah, a lot of positives from that, moving to wonders.
And if you could just speak to the youthful exuberance we saw out in the field from our boys this evening, the new ones coming in, that is.
Yeah, it's obviously good to have some youngsters in the team. And we pride ourselves obviously on our fielding as well. So for those youngsters who come in and they bring a different kind of energy, a new energy. So yeah, everyone's bought into it, and they're definitely setting the tone for us.
And I think that was important also for Matthew Britsky. That opening stop that he made just keeps, when you have players like that can feel that way, it just brings everybody's how can I say, confidence up. It brings their attitude up. It makes them feel riled up, and it brings the team together in a way. So especially the younger guy that pulls off those type of things, it just makes you think that things are going to go in your favor. So that was really good to see. I mean, the two youngsters, when I talk about them, Stubbs and Bretsky, both of them are very good fielders. So it does add to the spirit in the team, I feel, as well, when they manage to do so.
Great. We'll take a couple from online, starting with Nathan Taufik, then we'll try Anjani again.
Thank you very much again, Lucy. Rizal, evening. You get another opportunity today to showcase your talent. How do you feel? Just a personal question, but how do you feel when you get an opportunity and having to take a back seat? As we've seen in the past, how do you stay motivated and perform like how you did today?
The big thing for me is obviously to control what I can and try and be ready when the opportunity does come. So that's kind of my mindset. That's kind of approach it. So I managed to get the opportunity again. So it's good to be out in the park and control what I can. And when the opportunity does come, try and perform to the best of my abilities. So it's quite simple in that regard. Obviously, I want to try. I try and stay as positive as I can, and try and be ready when the opportunity comes in.
He's done an amazing job at doing that, though. He's done an incredible job at being able to stay positive, stay focused, and to keep that momentum going and consistency. Like, if he doesn't get a 50, he gets a high 40, which is brilliant, and with a good strike rate. So, for me, Riza's undroppable at the moment. He should be in the form that he's in, and we should continuously pick on form. And I think that's how we should go into World Cups in general. It is something that has started to grow on me, of that understanding. I wasn't always 100% set on that should be the case, but I'm starting to see how that has worked for South Africa. Taking players that are performing well domestically and are informed domestically, and then giving them the opportunities at international cricket to continue that form it's remarkable to see how much that can actually boost a player and keep and have them in the right in the best frame of mind possible going into a World Cup campaign. And if they're performing internationally consistently, they should be picked as well. Then they should definitely be picked. That's what I should be saying.
Thanks, Nathan. Telford?
Thanks, Lucy. How's it, Riza? I just wanted to know, how do you bat with someone as enthusiastic and just try to run as hard as you can and hit things as hard as you can as Matthew Breetzke?
Sorry, I didn't quite get that.
Matthew Breetzke just seems to be ridiculously enthusiastic and just wants to take his chance, and obviously that didn't come off for him quite as well as he would have liked tonight. But what's it like batting with somebody who's just so up for it with every ball?
Matthew comes with a lot of energy, and he actually played really well tonight. It's obviously a bit unfortunate the way he got out. But yeah, he was really keen. It was quite loud out there, and we didn't. He obviously wasn't looking up as well, so it was a bit unfortunate the way he got out. But I thought the partnership we had in the beginning, and the way he came out and played was really good. Again, it set the tone for the guys coming in. But yeah, a lot of talent there, and we'll see a lot of him going forward as well.
Thanks, Telford. And Johnny, and then we'll look to wrap with Keenan. And Johnny, if you would like to just unmute your monitor. Good. I think in the interest of the time, we'll skip to Keenan.
Thanks, Lucy. Riza, your career seems to have, your T20 career seems to have like a split in since that England series a while back. Can you just talk to me, because at some stage it's not form, it's just the player you are. Can you just talk to me about what changed in your batting? Was the mental approach? Because you don't look, nothing looks too different from the outside. So what changed in your T20 batting that you've had this run of form, if I can call it that, where everything just seems to be coming off?
I think it's obviously a big mindset and a mind shift, I would say, to try and be as free as possible. So I think that was my approach. And I think that's obviously gives me the best opportunity to go out there and express myself and play the way I know I can. And then obviously in England, I managed to come off. And that obviously gave me a lot of confidence in the way I was going about it. So yeah, the form has been good. I'm obviously grateful for that. But I think definitely that's the way I want to be playing moving forward, which I have and moving forward. So it's definitely it was rather a mindset. And then the scores just happened to come with it as well.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, we can see that in his game, the way he's been playing so freely, and I think that is brilliant from his part, and he should keep it up. There's no doubt that he should be one of the first names on the team sheets when it comes to the South Africa's T20 side. Don't know how he hasn't been, but he should be. Okay, so let's get into some of the comments in the live chat as we move into the preview of the game. South Africa is going to be sitting with this squad for the second game, and there's only 2 players that won't be available, or 3. Okay, obviously 3. That's the wrong one. My bad. So there's only going to be 2 players that are not available, and that's Marco Jansen and Gerald Coetzee. So that means there's 2 bowling positions, all-rounder positions up for grabs. And it's going to be interesting what they're going to do with regards to that. Personally, I would like to see what you guys say with regards to your 11s. But for me, I would like to see Donovan Ferreira get given a go. And I think he could actually replace Marco Jansen in the side, possibly at number 7. And I would like to see him turn his arm over a little bit. I know that the Wanderers maybe isn't a particular ground where you want to see, where you going to see guys necessarily get a lot of purchase out of the wicket with regards to spin. It depends on the conditions, of course. But we could see someone like Nandre Burger come in, Neil Bartman come in, also for Marco Jansen and Gerald Coetzee respectively. But that will obviously weaken the batting attack. If you do so, we were batting till 9 in the previous game, which was fantastic to see. And now that Gerald and Marco are not in the side, you're going to have to replace them with 2 particular bowlers. There's also a possibility for Lazard Williams to step out and Neil Bartman to come in for him. Lazard didn't have the best of games, and we do know exactly what we are going to get from Lazard Williams. He's played enough T20 matches for international cricket for us to know. Whereas I would like to see some of the younger other guys get an opportunity as well. For me, I would go with Donovan for Marco and then bring in someone like Otniel for Lizard or Nandre for Lizard. That would be my 2 changes for the match. And then see from there. It's also an opportunity perhaps then maybe to rest, to bring in both Otniel and Nandre. And also then bring in, maybe move one of the batters out, like for example maybe Klaassen or Miller, because we know what we get from them, and then bring in someone like a Donovan Ferreira in as well. Those are all options that I would probably want to see and go with perhaps for this particular match. It's also a possibility that we don't play a spinner and we leave the Bray Shamsi out, and then we can play all of the seamers that we want to basically see in this particular match. But I would like to see what you guys have to say in the live chat and see what you guys come up with. I can't go right from the beginning. I see you guys have been having your own conversation in the live chat while I was talking, while I was listening to the post-match press conference. I don't know how much of you guys commented on what was said, but let me just go from Matt92 over here. Riza is a good T20 player. Prefer him in this format rather than in ODI cricket. Yes, in this format, he's been absolutely fantastic. There's nothing that we can say bad about him in the T20 format. That's why he was also voted T20 Player of the Year at the CSA Awards. And that's why it was such a shock that he wasn't in the T20 World Cup team, because he's been phenomenal in the T20 format. He's really turned his game around, and he spoke about it in the post-match press conference about how he's changed his mentality and batted more positively with a positive mindset. He'll be fine in ODI. He will be fine in ODI because he's proven that he can be. But the T20 game, this allows him to bat a little bit more freely. I think that if he does approach the game with the same mentality in ODIs, he might get the same results consistently too, perhaps. Maybe that freedom of play that he has adopted might be the method that helps him in white ball cricket reach new heights. Berger says, since his debut against England, Stubbs has not had an impactful performance. Would you promote him up the order in the next game? I would like to see Stubbs bat up the order. I know personally from watching Stubbs at youth level right into domestic level that he's a type of batter that I think is a little bit more rounded than just having that label as a finisher. I actually don't see him as a finisher alone. I've seen him play fantastic innings in first-class cricket and in list A cricket, where he's really set himself up and then gone on to smack the ball crazy, like all around the ground. So he can be very aggressive. The thing is about Tristan Stubbs is the finisher role is something that he can play, but I don't think that it's something that is best suited to play. That is my opinion based on him as a player. Whereas I think that someone like Donovan Ferreira, even to an extent Marco Jansen and them, they are more, I think they are more conducive for that type of role, for coming in and going for it. Donovan, that's his natural game. That's how he came onto the scene. That's how we know him from domestic cricket. That's how we know him from the SA20. Comes in and goes for it. So I think we play the 2 players in their best position, give them a go against a strong India side and see what they can do. Because perhaps Stubbs is the answer for us for our middle order, because I can see Aiden Markram moving up to 3 and him batting at 4. I can see that happening. So I mean, that's what I would like to see personally from in the future? Is Tristan Stubbs bat a little bit higher up? Lawrence says Riza always having to play like a guy that needs to perform to keep getting a look in is kind of sad and unfair. At least now he's getting a good run in the T20 side. Definitely undroppable. Answering Burger, Kelly's answering Burger. Well, I think coming in close to the 12th over would be the best for Stubbs, irrespective of his position. Dex ribeye. Oh, my favorite steak. Why are you mentioning that? I just feel in T20 cricket, we as a fan base shouldn't be so robust in our analysis. If we select 6 sluggers, then so be it. Who really cares about the T20 format? I certainly don't. Yeah, it's not a format I really like as well. But I mean, let's analyze it. I guess it's part of cricket now. It's a big part of cricket. I think it makes it more interesting now that we can analyze it. Matt says Stubbs should bat at 4 or 5 in T20. Shouldn't have him lower, says Matt 92. I kind of agree with you personally. I don't. I think he can do the finisher. Like I said, I think he can do the finisher role, but I don't think it best suits his game. Lawrence Bailey, Bjorn Fortuin would have been so ideal for what we'll get at the Wanderers tomorrow. So pissed off that he always gets overlooked. Another unlucky cricketer. Yep, I agree. Lorenzo says, look at how the West Indies approach the T20 game. They absolutely go hard from ball one, with majority of the batters being sluggers, and they've been successful. I'd certainly go that route. And that's why we've been asking for our batters to up their strike rates, and they have. Reza Hendricks batted yesterday was a good example. Reza Hendricks' strike rate, Matthew Breedsky's strike rate and approach, Aiden Markram's strike rate and approach, even Klaasen's approach was brilliant. David Miller recently has not been coming out and slogging immediately. He's kind of started to get his eye in a little bit, which is a little bit frustrating when you don't have much runs to chase down. I would prefer him just to go for it, but whatever suits him and what's going to make him get us over the line, that's what will be best for him, I guess. Matt 92, Riza gives his 11. He says Riza, Breedsky, Markram, Stubbs, Klaasen, Ferreira, Andile, Nandre, Bartman, Hendricks, and Shamsi. I would that could be a good team. Trying to look at something that's missing. Nandre, Bartman, and Hendricks you playing. Yeah. That does look legit to me. Just have to double check it and look at the thing again and look at the. I mean, that could possibly be the only option over there with the bowling attack, actually, with Kutsia and Marco not available. So that does look like the most probable 11. But that's if they're going to try and risk it a little bit with playing Donald. I don't think it's a risk, though. I think he's ready. Prove that against Australia. Where am I at now? Okay, there we go. Kelly says that's a very long tail. Well, we don't really have many other all-rounders to pick from. The only one that's left now is is Andile. In that particular, now that Marco and Gerald won't be available for this match. For me, ODI and Test cricket are the real formats of the game. Let's blood our youngsters in the ODI format and not the T20 format. That's it, as it is just pure entertainment. Yeah, definitely we must blood our youngsters in the ODIs as well. But if they can, they can. Rija should open in tests. No. Riza must get extended run in ODI setup as well. I'm not having this that he's not an ODI player. He's definitely an ODI player too, and he should be opening the batting. I think with Timba in ODIs, that should be the next step for him. It's also time for Andile to put up a decent bowling performance. He keeps on making squads and gets selected for teams, yet his bowling doesn't really justify selection. He dropped off massively. 100% agree with you there. How long will Andile be continued to be picked up? I think until someone else in the domestic setup steps up as an all-rounder and can play consistently well. That's why someone like Stubbs should play more ODI cricket, as that, for me, is a format he'll excel in best. It definitely will be a format that he will excel in best. Tristan Stubbs is quality young player, just needs proper, genuine, regular opportunity, and I have faith in him. Yeah, he's been selected, brought out, constantly. Suraj is without Temba Bavuma's African team looks very competitive and strong. Bavuma should not be near the white ball team. He should only focus on red ball cricket, which is best suited format. I disagree with ODIs though. I do think that he just had a terrible World Cup, but yeah. Sometimes when Tristan plays for SA, I think he's just trying too hard to impress. He should just take the occasion as it comes, like he does at the Warriors. He looks so nervous in his colors. Yeah, but also there's a lot expected of him because he comes out into situations where he's expected to score runs, where he doesn't have time to settle in. He doesn't have time to calm down. He doesn't have time to like get his eye in. He needs to almost all the time when he has come to the crease, he has come into situations where there's a little bit of a panic around him. Berger says, Khalid, heard anything about Luto Sepamla? This is what I don't like about the quota system. Regarding a player after a few series, after a bad series, is sad. I bet in a couple of years, Batman will be nowhere. Luto has been injured. The last time I checked, he hasn't really played any domestic cricket. So that's what's happened with Luto, though. From what I'm assuming, I never really asked him personally, but from what I've taken, when I look at the fixtures, the last game he played was SAA versus Sri Lanka A in 19 June 2023. In June 2023 this year, he hasn't played a game since. So I think that he's injured at the moment. That is my assumption. Buren won't make the team. He's in VP 4-day squad. Easy. Yeah. Wanted to see Nanda Berger and Donovan Ferreira in the last third T20. I also would like to see Donovan Ferreira in this game. Riza Hendricks is a very deserving player, but feeling very bad. He isn't getting proper run yet in the Proteas team, and he's 34 now. I'm a huge Riza fan, as you know, but now, mate, I would select Riza in Test cricket. I wouldn't select Riza in Test cricket. Yeah, no. He hasn't really played much 4-day cricket, to be honest, in a long time. Even though when I interviewed him, he did say that he still, if he plays more 4-day cricket and does well, he wouldn't say no to it. Andile himself does not know what kind of all-rounder he actually is. Pratik says, looking at the SAA side against India A, there were quite a few players that I have not heard of from. Any exceptional talent coming from there? I think Jean Duplessis. I think Jordan Herman's brother, Ruben Herman. I think they are two very quality players. I think Sia Plaikis is a very quality player, but I think he needs to bowl with the same consistencies that makes him good. When he keeps the ball consistently on one position, then he does really, really well. Lawrence says, Khalid, I tell you what, Andile should take the opportunities because Pumwana will be right in the conversation real soon if he keeps up with his performance at domestic level. 100%. Andile needs to start taking his chances. He's not a youngster anymore. He is now a more experienced player. I haven't been impressed with his bowling whatsoever. I've been impressed with his batting, to be honest. His approach in the batting. He's batting with a lot more freedom. and he's coming into pressure situations and looking quite calm. He looked calm in the World Cup, and he looked calm again yesterday. Like that, if there were more runs on the board, I wouldn't have been really nervous of him being able to get us over the line. His batting's improved a lot. He's batting high up for the Dolphins, and I think his batting is improving a lot. But now his bowling is suffering, so I think he needs to do that. Don't forget Geoff Linde Khalid. Dick's brother, Geoff Linde, is a very unlucky player, man. Evan Jones is also underrated, talented all-rounder. Needs more consistency in his performances, though. Ruben, Ronan, Jordan, rise of the airman in SA cricket. Yes, Dick's brother, all airmans are very talented. All airmans are very talented. They're not all brothers, though. Ruben and Jordan are brothers. Ronan is not related to them. So yeah, just to update you on that. So yeah, tomorrow Wanderers, we got the final T20. I'm hoping South Africa can pull off a win, but I'd also like to see us. I'd also like to see us give some opportunities to some of the guys. I think naturally that would happen with the two players that are missing, that basically make up our 7, 8, 9 position, or 7 and 9, or 7, 8, 9, whatever positions you want to mix them up in. Those guys are missing from this particular games. So let's see. They probably going to go back to play 4-day cricket. Marco and Gerald, I think. So let's see what happens with regards to that, because they want them ready for the test series. So we'll see how that is. Good question, Suraj, about the weather at the Wanderers. I did not check that. That is a good thing to do. Wanderers tomorrow. Game starts at, I think the game starts at 5 o'clock again, doesn't it? Should. Yeah, 5 o'clock tomorrow. And the weather at the Wanderers tomorrow, please don't tell me that it's going to rain tomorrow. Then we just really, no rain tomorrow. There'll be a little bit of cloud. 6% chance of rain tomorrow. No, that's today. 2% chance of rain tomorrow. So doesn't seem like it's going to rain. It's going to be 28 degrees. It's going to be baking at the Wanderers. It's going to be a good conditions. I think it will be for T20 cricket. The Wanderers Stadium is a brilliant stadium for T20 cricket. It's a brilliant ground for that type of entertainment. So yeah, there'll be a little bit of cloud cover, 40%. Humidity will be around 41%, and probability of precipitation is about 2%. So I don't think we'll be in trouble for that. With regards to that, hopefully bad light tomorrow, says Matt92. It's a night game, so they will have nights. So guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Please do a couple of things for me. Subscribe for the channel. Click that notification bell for all future videos. Also, please download and subscribe to Cricket Fanatics Magazine monthly. Every issue is 100% free, straight to your inbox every month. Link is on the screen as well as in the description. And I'd also like you guys to please, we've just launched Cricket Fanatics Magazine Business Corner. I'd like you guys to please share this with all people, all entrepreneurs that you know, all businesses that you know, because we are going to be helping you market your business products and services effectively and affordably to a cricket audience. So I want you guys to please send this to as many businesses that you can. If you're watching and you are a business owner or an entrepreneur or coach, own an academy, please get involved with this. The link is in the description for you guys to get all the information. You can book a call with us, have a conversation with us about that. Sorry about being out of Europe, Khalid. Thanks, Lawrence. but I think it's best for us to be out of Europe. We need to focus on the Premier League and making the top four again, which is not completely out of our reach. But we need to sort out some things there, and I think playing the Champions League is just with this squad is just not good enough. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching, everyone, and I'll see you guys again tomorrow with the review show after the game. Stay safe. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Peace out.